Good morning, sir, and my fellow mates. Myself, Ayush Kumar Jha. I'm here with Nitu Kumari and Hitesh Periwal from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today, we are going to give a presentation on our topic biodiesel. So, these are the topics that we are going to discuss in today's presentation. Now, before discussing what is biodiesel, first we should know why is it going to be discussed. So, as we know that with each day passing by, the petrol diesel use is increasing and it is exhausting, and it is possible that a day will come when it will be difficult to get. Therefore, we need a good alternative for it. And biodiesel is the best alternative for the petrol diesel fuel. With that, let us start by knowing what is biodiesel. So, in simple words, we can say that biodiesel is a renewable biodegradable fuel that is manufactured from vegetable oils and animal fats. Or, in other words, it is an alternative clean burning renewable fuel similar to conventional diesel. It is produced using animal fats, vegetable oils, and waste cooking oil. Due to its biodegradable nature, it is used as a replacement for fossil diesel fuel. It can also be mixed with petroleum diesel fuel in any proportion. Now, let us compare biodiesel and petrol diesel and some of the properties. These are some of the basic properties through which we can compare biodiesel to normal petrol diesel. Some of the properties are cetane number, carbon residue, sulfur, biodegradability, aromatics, oxygen, flash point degree, and lubricity. Now we can see that biodiesel has an edge in all the properties through which we can conclude that biodiesel is more safe and environment friendly fuel. Now, these are some of the crops that can be required in the production of biodiesel. The crops are jatropha, caranja, linseed, microalgae, soybean, sunflower, peanut, palm, and coconut. With that, now let us see how biodiesel is produced. So the most used and popular method of biodiesel production is transesterification or base catalysis. Transesterification is also known as the most popular approach for biodiesel manufacture. It uses oil or fat to produce fatty acid methyl esters and glycerol by reacting with alcohols. The process takes place in four steps. The first step is to mix the alcohol for reaction with the catalyst, typically a strong base such as sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. The alcohol with catalyst is then reacted with fatty acid so that the transesterification reaction takes place. Among all alcohols, methanol is preferable because of its cost consideration. Now, the catalyst at the first place, the catalyst is being prepared by mixing methanol and a strong base such as sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. During the preparation, the NaOH breaks into Na plus and OH minus ion. The OH minus abstracts the hydrogen from methanol to form water and leaves the CH3O minus ion available for the reaction. Methanol should be as dry as possible because when the OH minus ion reacts with H plus ion, it reacts to form water. Water will increase the possibility of side reaction with free fatty acids. Fatty acids to form soap, which is really unwanted in this reaction. Once the catalyst is being prepared, the pre-treated triglyceride will react with 3 moles of methanol. So excess methanol has to be used in the reaction to ensure complete reaction. The three attached carbons with hydrogen react with OH minus ions and form glycerin, while the CH3 groups reacts with the free fatty acid to form the fatty acid methyl ester, which is also known as biodiesel. Now, I would like to ask Hitesh to proceed further with our presentation.
Thank you, Ayush. Now, let us see how we can use AI to identify new lands for increasing agriculture of such crops to make procurement process of such crops more organized and efficient, and to make it more easily accessible for the customers. To identify locations suitable for such crops, we will first collect high resolution and high spectral images from satellite. Those images can then be analyzed using AI to understand the geographic condition and vegetation of that region. This will in turn help us to understand which crop is more suited to be grown at a particular location. This approach was also adopted by Agriculture Ministry of Government of India in a study, and it was found that Northeast India is the most suitable location for palm trees farming. A similar approach can be adopted in other parts of the country to find region specific crops which were not earlier grown there. An increasement of such crops by means of incentives from the government will greatly help in promotion of agriculture of these crops. Now, for the procurement of those crops from farmers, we propose to set up a very realistic procurement facility similar to that adopted by NAFED to procure apples in Kashmir in 2019, but we want to do it more digitally and in a paperless manner. A farmer can first register himself to the portal as a seller of raw material or his farm produce. A person from that organization which is managing that portal can visit farmer's place for quality check and grading of crop. Then it will be up to the farmer to decide whether he will sell his produce to that organization or explore other open markets. If he wishes to sell that to the company, he can ask that organization to sell his produce on his portal. All data like grade of his crops, his location, and identification details can be stored in cloud by that company. In a way, this process will be fully paperless, thereby saving many trees. If a customer requires such crop, he can purchase from the portal and make the payment. A transport service will then use the data already available on the portal to schedule a pickup. As soon as the crop is picked from farmer's location, money will be transferred from that organization to farmer's bank account. Farmer will get the price assured to him as soon as his crop is picked. Organization will get the crop which they have already inspected and graded. While the crop is being procured, transport agency can give it some batch code or any identification code whose data can be made available on the portal so that if there is any problem with the quality of the crop, it can be investigated. A similar approach can be adopted by biodiesel producing company to sell their product but in a large scale and more volume this time. Biodiesel can also be graded and a batch number can be assigned to each product which can then be sold in e-commerce like platform. Thereby, faster procurement and faster distribution using AI leads to decrease in cost, increase in efficiency while maintaining quality standards at each stage. This entire approach is pro farmers, pro business, and pro environment. But the question arises why we are proposing biodiesel. We are proposing biodiesel because there exist many problems whose solution is biodiesel. Let us understand what those problems are and how biodiesel can be its solution. First is farmers' income crisis. We all are aware of the problems of farmers in India. They can hardly make their ends meet by growing traditional crops. Growing oil fetching crops will give them non traditional option whose demand will never depend on season as those crops can be used for producing oil for both cooking purpose and making biodiesel and will always fetch them higher returns. Second is waste reuse. Most of the chips factories and restaurants usually dump their thick overused oil in sewage leading to pollution. But such oils can be utilized to produce biodiesel through same process, thereby promoting practice of reducing, reusing and recycling waste. Third is pollution. Emission of biodiesel, emission of greenhouse gases from biodiesel is 40% less than petrodiesel and that of carcinogen compound is 85% less. So, if we are using biodiesel in place of petrodiesel, we are in a way decreasing emission and pollution by 40%. Fourth is Atmanirbhar Bharat. India is fully dependent on OPEC plus countries for its oil fuel needs and on Indonesia and Malaysia for its vegetable oil needs. So, if such crops are promoted in India, then our dependency on foreign powers for fulfilling our oil needs is also decreased. In this way, we are saving so many billions and billions from our import bills and making India Atmanirbhar for its oil needs. Money saved from this can be further used for development of our country and making our lifestyle better. Now, we are also aware that biodiesel production is very less in our country. Keeping that in mind, one more benefit of biodiesel needs to be mentioned. That is biodiesel blending. Biodiesel is a good solute as well as a solvent. It can dissolve many things in it and itself can be dissolved in other solvent. So, if we are having less biodiesel supply, we can mix it or blend it in diesel directly. Naming of biodiesel blends depends on percentages of biodiesel in it. If it contains 5% biodiesel, then we will name it B5 blend. If it contains 20% biodiesel, then we will name it B20 blend. And if it is a pure biodiesel, then we will name it B100. Now, I request Neetu to please enlighten us with the pros, cons, application, and future of biodiesel.
Advantages of biodiesel production. Biodiesel production provides significantly reduced emission of carbon monoxide, particulate matter, unburned hydrocarbons, and sulfates compared to petroleum diesel fuels, thus reducing pollution. Setup of biodiesel production plants will generate new source of employment for the country, especially the mechanical engineers, as its plants require high maintenance. Also, there is a huge scope of utilizing AI in order to maintain the quality and increase the biodiesel production. Northeastern India is most suitable place for growing palm trees in India. If we engage tribal communities in Northeast India to grow palm trees, then we can, in a way, give them more dependable source of income. This will discourage them in continuing their traditional slash and burn agricultural practices, which is not only a major source of air pollution in Northeast India, but also a major source for continuing deforestation and decrease in green density in that region. Unlike electric vehicles, no modification are required to run vehicles on biodiesel, originally designed to run on petroleum diesel. This means we can use biodiesel on existing infrastructure and need not to spend on building new infrastructures. Now coming to the disadvantages of biodiesel. Biodiesel gels in cold weather, but the temperature that it will gel depends on the oil or fat that was used to make it. So it is not suitable in cold weather. The best way to use biodiesel during the colder months is to blend it with winterized diesel fuels. Since biodiesel are made from animals and vegetable fat, more demand for these products may raise prices for these products and create a food crisis in some countries. While biodiesel are cleaner than fossil fuels on average, they do tend to produce slightly more nitrogen oxide, about 10% more. This can contribute to the formation of smog. Higher maintenance cost and high cost of establishment is also one of the disadvantages. Now coming to the applications of biodiesel. Biodiesel has many applications. Some of them are oil spills. With 80 to 90% of oil spill cost invested in shoreline cleanup, there is a search for more efficient and cost-effective methods to extract oil spills from the shorelines. Biodiesel has displayed its capacity to significantly dissolve crude oil depending on the source of the fatty acids. Public transport. Biodiesel finds its application in many transports such as cars, aeroplanes. Countries such as UK, US have already implemented it and it will be soon a common sight in India in near future. Energy production. Backup diesel fuel generators allow companies to avoid damaging blackouts of critical operations at the expense of high pollution and emission rates. By using B100, these generators were able to essentially eliminate the byproducts that result in smog, ozone, and sulfur emission. The use of the generators in residential area around schools, hospitals, and general public result in substantial reduction in poisonous carbon monoxide and particulate matter. Lubrication. Biodiesel has a lubricant property and thus has many applications. The reason lies in the carbon-carbon double bond, which makes it easier for the fatty acid esters to form a dense adsorption film on the metal surface, which increases the strength of the absorption film and increases the lubricating properties of biodiesel. Biodiesel reduces friction, which helps to improve engine efficiency and helps to reduce fuel consumption. It also protects mechanical part against wear and tear and corrosion, guaranteeing long life and efficiency of engine. Future of biodiesel. Biodiesel is the future fuel. There has been many trials upon testing of biodiesel and we have a positive result. In India, taking Delhi and Gurugram together, 16,99,000 tons of diesel is consumed per year. Just for an estimated use, if 5% of biodiesel is blended with petroleum diesel, then 84,950 tons of diesel will be saved per year. According to a research, the population of Delhi NCR is 4.7 crores. The uses of edible oil by per person in India is 14.4 kg per year, and the total consumption of oil in Delhi NCR itself is 6,76,800 tons per year, which is quite a huge number. As an indicative target, the government has approved 20% blending of ethanol in petrol and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel is proposed by 2030. Additionally, on World Biofuel Day, the Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, that is FSSAI, launched RUCO, Repurpose Used Cooking Oil, an ecosystem that will enable the collection and conversion of used cooking oil to biodiesel. The policy aims to increase uses of biodiesel in the energy and transportation sector of country during the coming decade. The various efforts of the government to solve the transportation and mobility solution have not worked well so far. It's the biodiesel which can work as an effective and great alternative for the country, and this will also help India meet its global climate commitments. This graph contains data of last 4 years and the future forecast of uses of biodiesel in different sectors till 2030. Now to conclude, biodiesel can be produced from waste, cooking oil, and fatty and animal fats through trans-esterification. Its properties are very similar and in a way better than traditional petrol diesel, and it can be used in any existing vehicles running on diesel without any modifications. It can be blended with petrol diesel and can also be used directly. As India is not producing much of vegetable oils, that's why use of biodiesel in India is very limited. It can be encouraged if an efficient procurement, production, and distribution system is set up. Benefits of biodiesel outnumbers its concern. Biodiesel has more environmental benefits as compared to traditional petrol diesel, and it can be a game changer till we don't produce electricity entirely from renewable means, which can then in turn be utilized to run electric vehicles. These are the resources from where we have collected all the information. Lastly, we would like to thank our respected sir for giving us this opportunity to work on this project and my fellow classmates for being such a great listener.